Hello and welcome to A1R Radio. My name is Gail Moffat and I am a medium that is going to be with you for the next half hour. We hope to have a couple of callers call in, so that's going to be good. I'm going to be giving some readings to some people, some lucky people, or unlucky, whichever way you want to look at it. Anyway, I was thinking about what I would actually talk to you about today, and one of the things that I think is a common question that is asked about spiritual matters is the subject of reincarnation, and I actually know categorically that reincarnation is a real thing. Or most of us will have lived many lives, and I think that one of the things with mediumship is that when you have a mediumship reading, invariably there's evidence, and that evidence proves that your loved one is in another place, is in spirit, and so it proves sort of a one direction route for your loved one. But that person can come back, and obviously they will be coming back into a different body and have a different experience and different relatives and things like that, and wouldn't be recognized as well because of their different genetic makeup that is coexisting with the spirit. But one of the things that I started sort of exploring the subject of reincarnation. I've always been a little bit fascinated, but I really sort of got into it around about 2017. And so a friend of mine and myself, we decided to sort of, because we were both mediums, we are able to bring somebody down and do the reincarnation effectively. And so we experimented with this ourselves, and when you're a medium, you understand that we all have a soul purpose. We all have a reason for coming forward into this life. We have a reason that enables us to actually learn our lessons and to evolve and grow. And the many people that we may be meeting people that are for the benefit of us, or we may be benefiting them, in fact, or a little bit of both. I think spirit utilize everyone to the best method that they can possibly achieve. And so, if you think about the concept of being able to actually evolve and move into a different sort of body and then move back to spirit. One of the things that I've been told is that there is much rejoicing and congratulations when somebody has done really well in a life and evolved, to a great sort of example to many. And when we've evolved, sometimes it's decided that, well, maybe we just need a little bit more here and there, and then the soul will choose to take on another life, which again is fascinating, isn't it? And I wonder what your thoughts are on reincarnation, and do let me know if you have any opinions or have had any experiences, because it is an absolute fascinating subject. Anyway, I believe we have Christy in Atlanta, Georgia, who is waiting for a reading. Are you there, Christy?
I am. How are you?
I'm very well, and how are you?
Hello. Okay. I'm good.
Good. So I am a medium, which means that I'm able to connect to loved ones, or I can go to my guides and give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
Well, I just have a question. My twin flame, I'm a medium too, actually. My twin flame and I were in separation, and he just came back. He left our home for 2 months, and then he just returned.
Right.
He talked of it being, I told him he could come temporarily till he found a place, but he's kind of seemed to come back into the relationship. And I was just
Yeah.
seeing what you picked up on our outcome and where we're at and how that's going.
Well, the one thing that I feel about him is I feel as I'm linking into him, he's a little bit insecure. And I feel that he's a little bit nervous about his future and sort of and how you're going to be with him on a long-term basis, because he has always felt that you're the stronger one in the relationship. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah, because of my gifts and stuff. And he says my energy is very strong. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And he, in a way, and this is no reflection on you. You've got to be who you've got to be. But I feel that he, because you're strong and because you've got that presence about you, which is a positive thing. Don't change it ever. Because you are who you are, it makes him, it sort of almost weakens him. He feels insecure in the relationship, and almost like he feels like he's taken away his sort of, the maleness of him. But
right.
Does that make sense to you as I'm saying this?
Yeah.
Because it's a very brave thing
totally
for me to say. Okay. Well, and I actually feel with him that but there's another reason why he feels like that is just because he's a little bit of a bit insecure generally as a person, and I think he was insecure when he came to the table in the relationship, and I feel that it's almost that like he needs to grow in confidence and himself in order for him to feel 100% comfortable in the relationship, and this is where a lot of the problems have been, is because he doesn't feel confident in the relationship. And I want to say that part of the reason why he is like this is I feel like I want to go back in time, and I feel like I'm sort of going back to his upbringing and his parents, and I feel like there was a lot of movement around, and I feel like that it's like they're not static in their living situation, and I feel that sort of situation never allowed him to sort of grow some roots in his life, and consequently it made him feel it makes him feel insecure. But I would like to say that he absolutely is craving a relationship with you. He wants it very much. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it resonates for sure.
Good. And I also want to say that I feel that this time round, he's going to try and attempt to look at the relationship in a little bit of a different way. And I feel that, and I feel also you are going to be a bit more, look at it in a different way as well. And I think as a result, because you're both looking at it in a different way, I feel really positive that you're going to come together. But also, I feel that you are coming into his life in this lifetime, because there is a big need for you to bring healing to him. Because not only are you a medium, like you said, I believe you are a healer as well. And sometimes we can be a healer through our words or hands-on healing. But I know very much you're a beautiful, beautiful healer. And I feel like that there's this lovely, lovely energy with yourself. And I feel that as time goes on, he's going to grow in stature, and you're going to be the one that's going to be healing him. And am I right in saying that there's young children around you?
We both have children, but they're not in the home with us. I mean, they come on the weekends and stuff. But the healing part, for sure, my guides have always told me, and I've seen, and we were together 3 years and separated 2 months, and then, like I said, he returned to our home. There was a lot of healing. He's grown a lot, but I definitely see where there needs to be more healing.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that
I don't know that he likes the idea of the healing coming from me, but I definitely think it does.
Well, the thing is that spirit can use your energy and do healing with him and you can be unconscious in that process, not realizing it's going on, and just sometimes it's just the things you say or your actions and that can be healing as well. But I do feel that the two of you are going to grow in a direction which is going to be really positive, because he's going to lift himself up and be in a better place. And consequently, I do feel very confident that you're going to go forward in a relationship that is more on an even keel. It's going to take a little bit of time because he's not quite there yet, but I do feel that he will get there. And this even keel is I almost feel with you that you're going to be sort of breathing a sigh of relief, almost like, oh, thank goodness this is happening, about time too, because I feel that you've been, it's like you can't go down to his insecure level. You can't do that. He has to come up to you, and I do believe that he will do that, and I feel that it will be with your help. I keep on seeing is there a young girl that's part of this, part of your relationship? I know you said you got children at the weekends.
Yes, he has a daughter. I have a deceased daughter. I don't know if you're seeing a live or deceased one, but there is a little girl that's his daughter. She's 11.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure because it kept on coming into, as a medium, sometimes it just comes into your clairvoyance and it just sort of keeps on coming and pushing, and you're not really sort of working with it. But I'm seeing it's quite a young child. I would say probably sort of at the most 7, but probably 3 years old. Quite sort of young. Does that make sense to you?
You might be picking up on my deceased daughter. She works with our energy a lot.
Okay. Well, let me just.
The youngest of our children is 11.
Right. Okay. Well, then it is your daughter, I believe. Because I'll bring some. She's coming forward and she's carrying. It looks like a stuffed sort of animal or pet, not a taxidermist, but like a toy that children have.
Right.
And I feel like I can see it's got long ears, and so it makes me feel like it could be a rabbit. And she's holding this rabbit, and I also feel that she would suck her thumb. And I feel like there's a need to suck her thumb, and I feel also that there's a lady in the spirit world that is looking after her, and I feel that this lady is a grandparent, and it's a grandmother, and I feel that this lady it has brought her forward because I can see her standing behind the little girl. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes. My grandmother's in spirit, and she works with me a lot.
Right. And would you understand the rabbit toy?
Well, my daughter was buried with a toy like that, so.
And that's often what they do when they work with me. They'll come forward with if something is buried with them, they'll come forward with that object and show it to me. So that's evidence that it's her. I'm just going to ask her if she wants to say anything, because I have got another caller waiting. So I'm just going to try and be very quick for you, because I don't want to stop off just here, because I think it's important that you hear from her.
Right.
She's saying to me, thank you very much for being my mummy. Thank you, because I couldn't have chosen a better mummy than you, because she says that she has, she often comes around you and sort of checks up on you, and comes with your grandmother, and she says that she has a great deal of respect. And I feel that, have you done any sort of like some sort of sewing where you, or embroidery or something where you've put, and it's connected to her, like a name that you put on something, or something like that? Does that make sense to you? Because she's
the only thing I've ever done sewing was I cross-stitched a bib when I was pregnant with her.
Well, it's actually,
or I cross-stitched a stuffed animal.
Okay, because I'm seeing cross stitching. That's what I'm seeing. That's the and she's showing that to me as evidence as well. And she's saying to me that she's making me feel as though she's a little bit sad about her father, because there's something around her father that would make her sad. Does that make sense to you? Right, so I'm just gonna carry on. I think we may have lost the caller, but I'm just going to say that that she's very sad about the father, and I feel that it's because the father, there's some sort of absence there, and she's sad about that. But anyway, I need to go on to the next caller, and thank you very much, Christy, for calling in. And my name is Gail Moffat, if you want to find me on Facebook. Right, so I believe we have India in Blairsville, Pennsylvania. Are you there, India?
Yes, I am.
Oh, what a beautiful name. And you know what? I love the place as well. I've been to India many, many times. So I'm a medium, and that means that I'm able to connect to loved ones, and I also can look to give you guidance from my guides. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
No, there's not.
So, okay.
Kind of new to this, but I really don't know what would be best.
Okay, well, why don't I just see what comes forward then, and see. Right. There's a lady with a gentleman standing next to each other, and that have come straight in. And I feel that they feel parental to you. And I'm not sure whether they're grandparents or parents, but they're standing together. And I feel that, I know that they were involved, this couple, in bringing you up. And I feel that the grandmother is holding a handkerchief in her hand, and I feel like she would hold it and sort of wipe her eyes, because I feel like she's getting a little emotional at this opportunity to come forward. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And is this your parents or grandparents?
My grandparents raised me, and they had 12 kids, and so there was tons of grandchildren, but I was their baby. I was their favorite.
Yeah, and because I felt parental, but then I felt grandparents, so it sort of was confusing me a little bit. But I just want to say that your grandmother, she's saying to me that she's telling me that she wants to continue looking after you, because she's telling me that you quite often pray, and when you pray, you always say, you hope that your grandmother and your grandfather are safe and protected, and you include them in your prayers, and you often go, ask them to help you as well. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I know with this, your grandmother's beautiful, and I feel also that she was quite religious as well. I feel like there's that she has a strong connection to sort of God and Jesus, and I feel like there's that religious element with her, and I feel like she would have had things around the house, maybe a statue or a cross or things like that. And she's just, and I've got rosary beads in my hand. And so often with the rosary beads, that's an indication of Catholicism. Does that make sense to you?
No, she was Southern Baptist.
Okay, I do apologize, but maybe it's just a symbol of religion then that I'm getting, and I know that, and she's just showing me the Bible, and I feel like there were times when she would like to sort of quote pieces of the Bible to you, and also teach you about things, and I feel also she's showing me you in a sort of a white sort of dress, because I feel like there was a time when you were had confirmation or some sort of ceremony within the church, and I feel like the religion and the upbringing that you had around the church was really, really important to her and all of her family. And she's telling me that you still have this strong connection to God because of your prayers, and because of you often think about, it's almost like that your upbringing is instilled in you. And I feel also that she's saying to me that I want to sing a song. It's like a lullaby, and I feel, I don't know whether this is do you know the lullaby which is, hush little baby, don't cry a word, Papa's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And I can hear that song being played out in the background. Does that make sense to you, India?
Yes, it does.
Wow. So I feel that she also she's just bringing a box, and I feel it's a present. Now it's either going to be a Christmas present or it's a birthday present, but she's bringing this box and handing it to you, and I think it's her way of saying of because I feel like there's something that could be pertinent to you around this time of year. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it could be. I'm going through a lot right now, and
yes,
I've been asking for guidance from her and another loved one that passed away.
Yeah. And she's aware that you've been praying to her for guidance, and she says that she will be. She has been listening to you, and she's going to be. I feel like I want to repair your home. I feel like I want to do some repair work. Would that make sense to you?
Not necessarily repair work in a way. There is work that needs to be done in here. Right. That was caused by one of my oldest sons. Yeah. Because
I feel like I'm sort of wanting to patch something up or do something, and I also feel. And she's aware of that, and she's telling me that her husband, your grandfather, was very good with his hands. He could sort of, you could put a sort of any sort of tools in his hands, and he would get on with things. He was very good in that way. And she's saying, I wish that he was here to help you, because she says that you could do with him. I'm also being shown some food that you cook that is exactly the same in the way that she used to cook all those years ago. You still use her methods and her recipes and things like that.
Yes, ma'am. She had me cooking very young, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I was making Thanksgiving dinner.
And I feel that she was the sort of person that would like to cook things from scratch, and you know, she was quite good as cooking.
Yes, she was.
And but I feel like some of her recipes are private to the family, and you have this knowledge and you have these recipes.
Yep.
And
other family members and friends are trying to get a couple recipes from me, and I will not give them up.
That's funny. Well, and she's telling me that that one of her recipes, you slightly changed it a little bit. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Her sweet potato pies.
And she says she actually prefers your way. She thinks it's a better method.
Oh.
And so she's like congratulating you on that little change.
Okay, good.
Well, anyway, I'm coming to the end of the show, and it's been lovely speaking to you, India, and thank you for calling in. My name is Gail Moffat. You can find me on Facebook if you want to find me, and so I know that your grandmother is there to help you, and she will be helping you. She's heard your prayers. So that's.
Can I ask one question, please?
You can try. I might get cut off.
Paul. There's a guy named Paul from high school that I'm attracted to. Wanted to know if he feels that he's a good fit for me and my children.
Well, I've got about 20 seconds left of the show. Let me just get quickly. He could be, but I feel that he would have to. There's a couple of things that he would have to sort of, compromise on or improve.